Hello YouTube. This week I've got the keys to a 2017 Mini Cooper Clubman All-4 John Cooper Works Edition. Let's take a look. So this is one interesting vehicle. Actually really stands out in this black and red trim. This is a Clubman, so you've got 4-door Mini Cooper, 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's got 228 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, which is the most of any of the minis actually. It starts at $37,500 for this vehicle, so not too bad considering what you're getting. You know, a fairly good-sized wagon hatchback kind of car with some style to it. This one has a bunch of options on it, which makes it closer to $50,000 though. So this one does have a bunch of stuff, including these 4-piston calipers up front, which are huge. And you know, the different colors between, you know, the roof and the mirrors are different colors, so that's an option. The wheels are an option, and you'll see inside it's got navigation and a bunch of other options. Anyways, there's a bunch of stuff that this does have added on top, including dual sunroofs, or sunroofs. I'm not sure how you say that. Yeah, so this is a Clubman. It has these interesting doors on the back, and actually they open by themselves, so you just touch the button and they pop open, which kind of surprised me the first time. I didn't expect that to happen. I thought I'd have to be pulling on them. So they actually have quite a bit, they take a little bit of force to close. I mean, it's not really hard or anything, but there is some force there to close them. Quite a good sized trunk in here. As you can see, it's pretty low, this car. Like, I'm not very tall and I'm way over it. So a good sized trunk to it, and some storage down there. You've actually got quite a bit of storage if you take out this separator here. With this separator here, you get a flat floor when you flip down the seats. So you do have a cargo cover as well here. So you have a cargo cover, so you can use it like a normal trunk. If you're afraid of hatchbacks, people seeing your stuff, that'll be hidden. And you can flip down these seats fairly easily. Just pull a little tab, flip it down, and then you've got a flat floor there, loading floor. And again, if you need even more space, you can pop this out, and then you've got even more space. So pretty good sized interior there. Let's go take a look in the back and close these. You have to close that left door first, and then the right door. Nice chunky handles. The only thing a little bit weird on the outside I find is you got this rubber trim, which is on the outside. That's a little bit odd, but it is what it is, I guess. Really cool checkered door trims. The front one's even better. It says JCW on it, John Cooper Works. Flip these back. You'll see there's a good amount of space back there. It is a mini, so you're talking a small car, right? But Mini is no longer really mini. You can see this legroom with the sculpted out seats. This is in my driving position. No problem to sit here. And there's no issue with that. So you could sit here for quite a while. It does have 3 seat belts in the back. And it has a little cup holder back here as well, and an armrest. Really well done inside, these kind of sporty seats. Here's your secondary moonroof. So you've got cover for that, and then you've got a manual cover for the front as well. And you know, it's got automatic down windows and that. Take a look at the front here. You can see it's typical mini style with your center cluster. And they have moved kind of the speedo over to the left, and using that center cluster now as entertainment, navigation, and kind of car settings and that, whereas it used to be actually having your speed in there as well. That's kind of taken out of that now. And you can see there's a lot of chrome accents, really, you know, kind of spruced up, and kind of cool looking seats with those checkers on them. Let's go take a look at the front. So there's that John Cooper Works logo, trim. Looks pretty cool. Seats that match. It's kind of really decked out steering wheel here. This steering wheel is really cool. I love this steering wheel, actually. It's got, nice chunky feel to it. It's really, really thick. I don't know if the camera will kind of show that. Super thick. Red stitching on there. Really nice to hold the steering wheel. You've got up front here, start button. It's actually start switch, because Mini's got all these kind of switches, right? The old school kind of style. So I'll just start that up. Just put your foot on the brake, flick it down, turn the radio down. You'll see this pop up. This is your head-up display. And that you can choose in the settings. You can choose what you want your head-up display to say, and you can flip this switch as well. And this switch here will flip down the head-up display if you don't want it, so you don't have to have that up there. Just going to turn the fan down. Don't get too windy in here. Up here you've got your settings for your moonroof. And you've got your lights, and that doesn't really show in the whenever it's bright outside, but you've got lights there. This car also has auto start stop, and you can turn that feature off and on with this button. I don't, unless it really annoys you, I just leave that on. Let the car shut itself off at lights. You can see here, so turn this auto on, low fan, so don't roast in here. Dual zone climate control, heated seats, that is an option. It is a package that's been added to this. You've got your control here and a touchpad. So this control dial here, controls will go up and show you here. You've got different settings in here. You can do, you've got your music, which is your radio and that. You've got your phone, and you can do text messaging, and you can do memos. Do a voice memo, and I was thought about recording my whole video right in here with a voice memo, because you can actually export this to a USB after, which would be really cool. But I don't think the voice quality is that great. I tried it out. You can hear it, if you want to get in the car, remember I got to get eggs or bread or something, you can set that in there while you're driving. A bunch of settings in here. There's so many settings, different technologies. Here's your technology in action, sports displays, and that'll show your display for your horsepower and torque. And there's a whole bunch of other ones that'll actually change what shows up on your HUD. And of course, vehicle settings, doors, keys, lighting, driving mode. So driving mode, which is probably the most interesting one, you've got sport in green, and then mid, which is your kind of normal. And you can configure these to what you want to set, so what kind of chassis settings and drivetrain settings. It shows a picture of a go-kart here and a rocket ship. So drivetrain is set to go-kart and rocket ship in sport mode. And in green, they don't use a little picture of a boat or something. That's interesting. So in green, that's it gets more efficient, so it'll turn the engine off sooner. In sport mode, it might not. It'll shift sooner. Things like that. It'll give you less throttle response. You can flip between those modes just with a click here. Sport, and it'll say mid or green, and it actually lights this up nice and green, which is kind of cool. So there's your mid, yellow, and of course sporty is red, as expected. This one here is a 8-speed automatic, not the manual, and it does have manual shifting, and as well as paddle shifters. So the paddle shifters work really well. Really surprised. I thought maybe this might be a DSG transmission. It's really, really quick to shift, really responsive. And of course, with the sports exhaust and then the dual exhaust on this thing, it really kind of gives you a nice feel and that sporty kind of sense as it goes. In the center display here, you've got your speedo, your tach, and a fuel gauge, large fuel gauge on the side, which is kind of cool as well. You can flip through. There's a button on this on the signal light arm here, and it will flip through bunch of settings: water temp, distance to empty, trip, fuel economy, and you can set what it flips through in here. There's just so many settings. You can really personalize the car the way you want it. On the left, you've got your automatic headlights, and you've also on the right here on your wiper arm, you've also got rear wiper. And I'm going to turn that on and show you. So there we go. So it's two little wipers that kind of come in and out, which is kind of funny. A little bit different than what you're used to, I guess. In the center here, I've also forgot to mention, you've got your traction control button. So you hold that down, you'll turn your stability contraction control can be turned off. You've got a 12-volt power, USB auxiliary in, a couple cup holders. Again, that you've got an electronic parking brake here. You can set that on. You gotta hold it, there we go. So now that's set. And push it down to take it off. And you've got quick buttons on this control as well. So if you hit nav, it'll go straight to the nav. I can see my GPS coordinates. And you can, of course, go to a map and you can quick search and all of those types of things. And you can write. So on here, if I write an A, B, C. So you can write that instead of flicking through these dials. You can just do that. So that's pretty cool. BMW's been using that for a while. It works pretty well. Really easy. It pretty much, even if you're not right, it gets it. I don't know. It really has a good sense of what you're writing there, even with my horrible handwriting. Flipped up the armrest, and you've got a phone holder here. I'm going to assume it's also a charging station because the light turns on. And I've got one of those gigantic phones, and it just fits. So I flip it down and it fits. So that's good. It's kind of, it holds the phone, and it would, if you've got, I don't have wireless charging, but if you have wireless charging, I think that's what that's for. It is a little bit hard to get out though, because it is jammed in there after. If you go to the second level, you've got a kind of rubbery plaid finished cover with a USB port in there for your armrest. So everything's kind of there that you need. Small car, but it doesn't feel super small when you're driving it because it's a little bit longer, right? But it doesn't feel like a large car. It really does. I mean, you can easily reach the other side and get into the glove box and that. There's no real stretching required. This is all kind of rubbery material. It's pretty nice stuff. It really feels kind of upscale. This is kind of like a carbon fiber trim here. So, you're paying close to 50 grand for what I have here, which is maybe a little bit more than I was expecting, but the starting 37.5 for the JCW was less than I expected, so there is that. And of course, you can pick your options as you see fit. So let's take it for a little rip and see what she's like on the road. All right, so I'm gonna kind of accelerate hard here. We're in sport mode and manual mode. There we go. First gear is a little bit weird, but the rest of the gears hit really hard. And when you downshift, I don't know if the mic will pick that up. I don't think so. But you get backfiring, which is really cool. You get pop, 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 pop out of the exhaust. And just driving normally, even in normal mode, even in mid-balance setting, the exhaust has a nice tone to it when you get on the throttle. And you hear this boom, boom sound from the turbos popping. Like, it really, really sounds great. Really gets you driving maybe a little bit too quick. At 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour on this is 6.3 seconds. It's not super duper fast, but it's quick enough that you'll have a lot of fun with it. If you go from a dig, it doesn't feel all that fast, I found, but it is still pretty darn quick. Out on so the Minis before were always like really, really firm, super, super stiff suspension. They've really softened it up for this model. It's not floaty by any means. It is still firm, but it's not jarring anymore. The Mini has now become more upscale, as the price suggests. So there you have it. It's shut off the engine. Let's stop, let go of the brake, starts right back up, and you'll get back on the gas and rock it away. And it just goes, and you're up to speed in no time. and you really, it's kind of, you know, fun to drive through traffic, fun to drive on the highway. It's quiet. There's not really much wind noise or road noise. It's not the, you know, the quietest car. It is more of a sporty car, so you hear those tires a little bit. But it's, I think the key here is people that buy minis want something cool, something a little bit different, and something a little bit fun to drive and zip in and out of traffic. That's kind of the point of them. Even though this one's a little bit larger than your, you know, a normal Cooper, it still retains that character that you expect from a Mini Cooper. There you have it. Can't really ask for much more in a car here. You've got a small car that's got all-wheel drive, tons of power, great braking, lots of style, customizability, and fun to drive, and a price that starts at not too bad at $37,500. It's kind of a funky car, and starting to see a lot of Clubmans around, and after driving this for a bit, I can kind of see why I'm seeing a lot of Clubmans around. They're kind of a cool and funky car. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.